asking Muriel Bowser, would you please support us? Would you please approve this change in our financing? And then we're going to sit down with DCHCD and ask them, with their endorsements in hand, to please change it.
And when do you contemplate that happening?
Within the next month. Within the next month. As I said, Vince Gray I've already met with him and he's already approved. I'm waiting for a meeting with Muriel Bowser, who's been, I think she was in El Salvador this weekend. So we're waiting for her office to get back to us so that we can get hopefully her endorsement in it, and then we will sit down with DCHCD. We are also contacting DCHCD to put a meeting on the calendar.
So whether or not the structure is a condominium or apartments, is that a part of the PUD? Because what you just mentioned was, we've already been approved, there's already approval for 70 senior units. But what we're going back for and to ask for is approval on 50 to 80 AMI condominiums.
Right.
But you mentioned that the council member will weigh in on that and the mayor. So does ANC have to weigh in on the change of structure to condominium as opposed to the senior building?
Well, that will go back to zoning. And that will go back to zoning.
So
what would
ANC
happen?
does not need to weigh in on it?
If it does go back to zoning, we may have to weigh in.
They may.
But I
What
think
goes
if
back to zoning?
it's an issue with getting financing from DCHD, we aren't obligated to weigh in, but I think we probably could if we needed to,
Right.
one way or another.
Yes, ma'am, and then the lady on the line.
Just to follow up on her point. So the approval from Councilmember Gray is specifically for condos, because the last time we met as a community, there were some issues regarding whether the community had decided on condos, but there was inclusion of some language on mixed income apartments. So we just wanted to make sure that it's specifically for
It is for the condos. No, it does include the mixed income, and we've had this conversation. It does include it because if DCHCD does not approve the 50 to 80 condos, we then go back to 70 units, 30 to 50 AMI, because there's not another option. So we've now stopped this whole thing, there's not another option. So at this point, Vince Gray is putting a letter together, or we're putting a letter together with him for 30 to 50 AMI condos. And at the very, if that does not be approved, if that's not approved. But it is a separate letter, it is not the same letter. The first letter to be sent to, or to be presented to DCHCD is about the 50 to 80s.
So DCHCD is not even a second letter for mixed income apartments, right?
Unless they say no.
Well, I guess if they say no, are you gonna then come back to the community? The community never agreed exclusively on mixed income apartments. I think that's the issue of, like, if ANC is gonna sign on a PUD, then there needs to be, the community has to agree to the mixed income apartments. I think that's the issue at hand is, are we going to DHCD about affordable condos, or are we going to DC exclusively affordable condos, or are we going for mixed income apartments? Because that needs to be clarified. Because if Vincent Gray is going and writing a letter for both and excluding, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth.
Well, no, he's not talking out both sides now. He's negotiating like a real person negotiates.
So,
And I'm just going to break it kind of down like that. That's what happens. I do understand what you're saying about coming back to the community for the 50 to 80 AMI, I mean the mixed income apartments. But what's going there right now, what's going to DCHCD are 50 to 80s.
So they're not going to know anything about the mixed income apartments until after they made their decision, right?
Until after they made their decision. And so that, again, we will present that to them in DC, and like I said, we will have those letters in our hand, and that's what's presented to them.
Would you let the community know what DCHCD's decision is prior to giving them the second proposal for mixed income apartments?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, because we don't know how long it's going to take DCHCD to approve anything. To be honest with you, I don't know. So at this point, we're waiting for DCHCD to make this decision. We will bring the paperwork and hand it to them, and then we will walk out. They're not going to go, yes, we love this, and stamp it while we're sitting there.
Right, so I think though, maybe to address her question, are you willing to commit to holding a community meeting to brief the community on that once you have updated? Is that kind of what, that's what I was getting out of your question?
No, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they'll
Yeah.
be briefed on anything that happens with
Yeah.
DCHCD. They'll be briefed on that, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
The lady against the
I would
wall.
like to know, how come our ANC not including these meetings, and the president of the Civil Association is included? We
And
don't have anything from my ANC.
Well,
All
to be-
this stuff, all we hear is from our president about guilty.
Because
Because what?
because I'm speaking from the party of the appeal.
No.
This is not, hold on,
Oh, please,
hold.
let her answer your question, please.
This is not an ANC issue. The
It is.
negotiate, no. The
Let her
negotiation
finish.
is not an
Let-
ANC issue.
Excuse me, let her finish.
Okay.
Let her
The
answer your question.
negotiation is not an ANC issue. The PUD, the zoning part of it, that part of it, the government part of it, is an ANC issue. We are negotiating as the party of the appeal for River Terrace. It is not the ANC and the party of appeal, because then it would be any of these commissioners that would go. So this is the party of the appeal from River Terrace community.
But our ANC doesn't have it.
No, she does. She's in the meetings with.
Talking about, sometimes she doesn't even go to the leadership meeting. And a lot of
leadership meeting?
ANCs are at the ANC meeting.
Are you referring to the Ward 7 leadership meetings?
You're speaking to
Which
Ward
leadership
7.
meeting are you
Ward
referring to?
Ward 7.
Which
Councilmember
Well, the
Graves.
SMDs
That's another
do-
matter.
Yeah, that's another
Yeah,
matter.
That's completely another matter.
SMD.
May I answer your question, please? Because you brought that up and I don't want the community
Yeah.
to be misled. The leadership meeting for Councilmember Gray is for leadership. That's presidents of civic and citizens associations, ANC chairs, and chairs of committees
Who's our
on the ANC. Ma'am,
Who's our ANC chair?
myself,
Commissioner Muhammad.
and I do attend. And, so your question is pretty much apples and oranges. The leadership meeting would not be commission approved. However, she is a part of the appeal group that's a part of this process that she's referring to. So as, she happens to be the commissioner for 7004, but more importantly, she is one of the party, a part of the party of the ad hoc group that's appealing appealing the zoning commission piece for the
Well, we
PUD.
need somebody to let us know, particularly, we hear one thing.
Well, you can
and
express
then we hear
that
another
to
thing.
your president
Right.
if you wanna appeal that, but in terms of who's gonna be a party and the ANC's
Okay.
position, we're talking about apples and oranges.
It sounds like you two are in communication and
Yes.
coordinating on this, so it doesn't sound like their left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing.
Yeah, we've had a meeting every month to go over any discussions that have been had with the lawyer and the developer. Ms. Prue is part of that group, so Joanne Prue, Barbara Garnett, Antoine Williamson, Cynthia Culver, Brandon Frazier, Police Rice are all members of it. Also, Mr. Jordan was a member of the Party of Appeal also. So we've met, for the last couple months, we've met every month to go over the MOU and what has been discussed. And if we're trying to get a continuance or not get a continuance, et cetera. So that has been discussed with Ms. Prue. She tapes every meeting, I think, so she definitely